Gorgeous stylistic visuals, dreamy towns and large stone walls, building by day and defending by night. What you get when you combine cozy city building with defensive fortifications, seasonal changes, and good old-fashioned tower defense is Becastled, a game you might have already heard about because it's actually been in Steam Early Access since 2021 with over 4,000 positive Steam reviews, but is now finally here in its full 1.0 release version. And thanks to Mana Potion and Pingle Studios for sponsoring this video, I'm able to show you exactly why this game is worth your time. So make sure to stick around and check out Becastled on Steam right now to take advantage of a super sweet 33% launch week discount, or find it on PlayStation, Xbox and Nintendo Switch, where the latter two will get you a 10% discount. First, let's start with daytime. What is so charming about Becastled is that it really feels like an old-school city builder, while simultaneously bringing depth, scale, and intensity to the experience. And yet, an intensity that's suited for both the experts and those new to the genre. And let me tell you why, because we're not fighting massive hordes right off the bat here. You see, Becastled starts off easy. You place your castle down, add some houses to get your population going, and begin looking for the most crucial resources like wood and food. What's nice about the way Becastled introduces you is that you're not going to be bombarded with a bunch of menus or a million options from the get-go. Instead, it's really just the basics, like your regular housing, your sawmill, farm, hunting lodge, and so on. You place them down as you would in the area they're meant to be in, so a sawmill should be near trees, for example, while a hunting lodge fits right next to wild deer or boar, and you always assign your people to work them. Of course, you're not going to find everything you want in your tiny starting area, which is why unlocking tiles the right way is key. You see, even though the maps of Becastled are in a sense wide open for you to explore, they're not as ready for you to take advantage of them as you might think, because every map is made up of tiles which demand that you spend resources to unlock them. Tiles will be cheap to unlock in the beginning, but the more you unlock, the more numerous and more diverse resources each new tile will demand, meaning that later on, you're going to have to think strategically about where you want to go. The basics are simple, however. You generally get food from animals like deer, sheep, and boar, wood from sawmills cutting trees, stone from stone deposits, the same for iron, and importantly, you get money first and foremost from sunstone. These basic resources allow you to build every building in the game, but of course, like we established earlier, the beginning of the game doesn't toss everything at you right away. For that, there's the tech tree. Here, you may spend resources to unlock new innovations that will be crucial for creating a lasting kingdom. And it's actually important to be aware of it right away, because even basics like stone mining is found here. An important concept in Becastled is that your people make the world go round, so without adequate housing to fill the jobs, nothing will happen. To attract people, however, you're not only going to need housing, but you need to keep your people happy, fed, warm, and safe. If you don't have enough food, people will starve. If you don't have enough amenities like churches or taverns, people won't come to town. And if you don't have coal to heat up their homes in winter, they're going to leave. Charcoal is of course not a resource found in the world naturally, so for that you actually need to input wood, in addition to unlocking the building itself, for the charcoal kiln to actually operate. And this is where things get really interesting, because not only is Becastled a real-time strategy city builder, but it's also a seasonal one. Over time, the seasons change, meaning that where there were once fertile trees and fishing ponds, there will be empty forests and frozen lakes. Again, this is seasonal, so while you never permanently lose or gain access to resources, you do well to plan ahead for the seasons where you'll be left without proper food or wood production. For example, if you lay down a wheat farm on a tile that allows for it, the farm does not operate during winter. In addition to the harsh cold which demands coal, the combination of a lack of food and a lack of warmth might just hit you in a perfect storm that sees your population shrink. It's a great way in which this otherwise cozy medieval city builder simulates the harshness of winter, but as always, you do best to prepare and make sure your food production is as high as possible. But perhaps my favorite thing about the seasonal changes are those visual differences. Where the summer is beautiful and colorful, you'll see the leaves falling when autumn turns to winter, and the lit houses look so charming in the morning snow. I really appreciate that while we have strategic depth here, that Becastled stays true to its own simple yet charming visual style, which permeates everything from the building models to the characters, lighting, and the nature. The awesome thing is that once you get rolling, it won't take too long before you've made something that looks truly awesome, like an animated industrial medieval town. Get far enough in the tech tree, and you can even spend some resources to beautify and decorate your city with various objects, like lampposts, banners, fountains, arches, greenery, and so much more. It goes to show how much love has been put in here, not just to make a tactical gameplay experience, but one where you're allowed to have fun and indulge just for the sake of the fun itself. This is of course what you do during daytime, i.e. when your workers are out laboring and gathering resources. And yes, resources are well spent not just on new buildings, but also on soldiers, recruited from infantry or archer buildings who you must use to defend the city, which leads us to nighttime gameplay. Because at night, monsters spawn to attack your city from different directions every time, but neatly placed routes and arrows give you a good overview over where the next wave will come. What I love about this part of the game is how deep it actually is, because soldiers aren't just soldiers. You have regular swordsmen, two-handed knights, pikemen, and archers for starters, but all of these accumulate experience through combat. Experience makes them better fighters, but if you build a smithy, you can upgrade both their arms and armor, which not only give them stat boosts, but also changes their appearance. Unlock the ability for special units, and you can even give high-level units a banner that bring other units bonuses, like passive healing or faster or better attacks. And you can even have your archers go from using regular to more deadly fire arrows. This means that somehow, even though Becastled has a cozy look to it, the armies feel so cool to manage. I just love seeing the diverse unit types, and if you know me, I'm a sucker for banners and those who carry them. It's really important to place your army in a defensive position in time before the enemy arrives at night, because if you leave the invasion unchecked, it will destroy your city. I found out the hard way. Luckily, Becastled offers you one more trick on top of powerful armies, namely powerful walls and towers. You'll begin with unlocking wooden palisades in the tech tree, and later opening up the possibility to raise towers and thicker walls. And they're useful for not just delaying the enemy attack, by the way, since they can after all be destroyed, but also for making sure you stop them in their tracks. You see, walls and towers can be manned, meaning that strategic placement of archers on the walls and on top of towers can mean the difference between victory and defeat. It's therefore smart to place them near the enemy's entry points. While a staff tower won't necessarily do much on its own at all times, it's generally an extremely helpful asset to use alongside your army on the ground. And if there's something I love, it's a good defensive fortification that can withstand a strong enemy attack. And those attacks will get stronger, by the way, especially after you begin going after the enemy towers yourself. Thing is, Becastled is not just about building and defending, but in order to truly break free, you have to attack as well. The monsters control large towers beyond your city. They are guarded not just by a large amount of health, but also by trolls and other mini-bosses spawning as you attack them. Destroying one will result in the next enemy wave becoming a Blood Moon invasion, an especially strong version that usually occurs every 5 days. In the beginning, the difference won't be as stark, but a few hours in, and that Blood Moon is going to become a real challenge. And after a few in-game years, the enemy hordes will count in the hundreds, bringing not just petty units but catapults, siege works, giants, and demon lords. It becomes so fun to figure out how to best position your walls, towers, and archers, but you know, the masterpiece lies in the details here, because there are so many of them. By building a blacksmith, you can upgrade your units with better arms and armor, give your archers fire arrows, and add banners to units or on top of the walls themselves to bring further bonuses to the surroundings. When units walk in the snow, you can see the tracks they've walked, and it's possible to do things like adding spikes below the walls to damage the enemy while they're attacking them, and even place siege weapons atop your own towers. Of course, you can build gates in your walls as well, and the layout of the cities here is just tailor-made to build intricate cities and walls that protect them. There's so much charm surrounding Becastled, so much cozy city and siege defense building that I don't think I've ever played a game that managed to unite those two aspects of this particular type of strategy game this well. It has a great learning curve and offers that awesome feeling of uncovering more as you go, as you learn the ins and outs of resource management and placements of both buildings and defenses. It's awesome when your defenses work, but it's even more thrilling when they don't, honestly, at least partly, because one of the best moments I had was when the enemy completely overwhelmed my outer defenses, meaning I had to rely on a last-ditch effort of my inner defenses to survive the night. There are many ways to survive and thrive in Becastled, but if you just want to chill and not deal with enemies, you can do that as well in the sandbox mode with infinite resources. If you've been looking for both a cozy and intense city builder, Becastled is available now on Steam, PlayStation, Xbox and Nintendo Switch with a massive sale especially on Steam, so if I've piqued your interest, make sure to check it out. Let me know what you think of Becastled, tell me if you've already played it or if you're planning to check it out. As always, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, thank you so much to Mana Potion and Pingle Studios for sponsoring this video, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.